In industrial microbiology, production media is one of the most critical factors determining whether a fermentation process becomes successful or fails. A microorganism may have excellent genetic potential, but unless it is provided with the proper nutritional and environmental conditions, it cannot produce the desired product efficiently. Production media is not simply food for microbes. It is a carefully designed biochemical environment that supports growth, metabolism, and product formation. In industrial practice, media must satisfy biological needs and at the same time remain economically feasible, scalable, reproducible, and safe. This lecture will explain what production media is, what functions it performs, what components it contains, how it is optimized, and how it is selected for real industrial processes. In this presentation, we'll cover a comprehensive range of topics related to production media, including its introduction, functions, major components, and classification. We'll also discuss challenges and future trends in media design. Production media refers to the nutrient mixture used to cultivate microorganisms, cells, or biological systems for the formation of desired industrial products such as antibiotics, enzymes, organic acids, solvents, amino acids, vitamins, biomass, and recombinant proteins. In laboratory microbiology, media is often designed for growth or isolation, but in industrial microbiology, media is designed for productivity. That means the goal is not only to grow the organism but to maximize the target product. Some products are growth associated, meaning they are formed as cells grow actively, while others are non-growth associated and are produced more strongly during stationary phase or under controlled nutrient limitation. Therefore, production media must be selected according to both the microbial physiology and the nature of the product. It is one of the major determinants of fermentation yield, rate, recovery, product quality, and process economics. Production media performs several important functions in an industrial fermentation system. First, it supplies nutrients required for microbial growth, including carbon, nitrogen, minerals, vitamins, and water. Second, it provides the raw materials needed for biosynthesis of the target product. Third, it supports energy generation through microbial metabolism. Fourth, it can regulate gene expression in metabolic pathways by including specific precursors, inducers, or limiting nutrients. Fifth, it helps maintain suitable physiochemical conditions such as osmotic balance, pH buffering, and redox environment. Sixth, it influences morphology in filamentous organisms such as fungi and actinomycetes, which can strongly affect oxygen transfer and productivity. Finally, production media also affects downstream processing because some media components may make filtration, centrifugation, purification, or product recovery easier or more difficult. So, the right medium does not just feed the microbe, it shapes the whole process. A production medium usually contains several categories of components. The most important are carbon sources, nitrogen sources, minerals, trace elements, growth factors, precursors, inducers, and processing aids such as antifoaming agents. Carbon sources provide both energy and carbon skeletons for biosynthesis. Nitrogen sources are needed for amino acids, nucleotides, enzymes, and coenzymes. Minerals and trace elements are required for enzyme function, membrane stability, transport systems, and metabolic regulation. Growth factors such as vitamins may be required by auxotrophic organisms or may enhance performance. Precursors directly contribute to product biosynthesis, while inducers switch on the metabolic pathways responsible for production of certain enzymes or metabolites. Antifoams are added to control excessive foam formation during aerated fermentations. A good industrial medium is therefore not random. Each ingredient has a specific physiological and process-related role. Carbon is usually the major component of production media because it serves as both an energy source and a structural building block. Common carbon sources include glucose, sucrose, lactose, maltose, molasses, starch, hydrolyzed starch, whey, glycerol, vegetable oils, and various agro-industrial residues. The selection of a carbon source depends on several factors, including microbial preference, cost, availability, ease of sterilization, metabolic effects, and influence on product formation. For example, Glucose is easily utilized and supports rapid growth, but in some organisms it may cause catabolite repression and suppress secondary metabolite production. Molasses is cheaper and widely used industrially, but its composition may vary and it may contain impurities. Oils can serve as excellent substrates for some antibiotic or biosurfactant processes because they provide high energy density. Thus, choosing a carbon source is not just a nutritional decision, it is a strategic decision affecting metabolism, productivity, and economics. Industrial carbon substrates such as molasses, whey, and corn steep liquor offer cost-effective options for large-scale fermentation. These substrates are rich in nutrients and support efficient microbial growth. Nitrogen is essential for the synthesis of proteins, nucleic acids, amino sugars, coenzymes, and other cellular constituents. Nitrogen sources in industrial media may be inorganic or organic. Inorganic sources include ammonium salts such as ammonium sulfate, ammonium chloride, ammonium nitrate, and ammonia. Organic nitrogen sources include peptone, yeast extract, corn steep liquor, soybean meal, casein hydrolysate, urea, fish meal, and distillers solubles. Organic nitrogen sources are often favored in industrial fermentation because they provide not only nitrogen but also amino acids, peptides, vitamins, and growth-promoting substances. However, they may introduce variability from batch to batch. Inorganic nitrogen sources are cheaper and more defined, but sometimes they are less efficient for high-level production. In many fermentations, the nature and concentration of nitrogen source strongly influence biomass formation, pH change, enzyme induction, and secondary metabolite biosynthesis. Therefore, nitrogen must be selected carefully in relation to the production objective. Nitrogen sources are classified into inorganic and organic types, each with distinct compositions. They provide essential nutrients for growth, with organic sources offering complex benefits for microbial processes. Minerals are required in smaller amounts than carbon and nitrogen, but they are absolutely essential. Major ions such as phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, magnesium, calcium, sodium, and iron participate in central metabolism, ATP generation, membrane transport, nucleic acid synthesis, buffering, and enzyme activation. Trace elements such as zinc, manganese, copper, molybdenum, cobalt, and boron are needed in minute quantities as cofactors for specific enzymes. If these are deficient, the organism may grow poorly or fail to express important biosynthetic pathways. Growth factors include vitamins, amino acids, purines, and pyrimidines required by some microorganisms that cannot synthesize them efficiently. Yeast extract, malt extract, and corn steep liquor often serve as sources of these growth factors. Phosphate is particularly important because it acts both as a nutrient and a buffer, though excess phosphate may repress production of some secondary metabolites. So minerals and growth factors are small in quantity but large in impact. Growth factors and vitamins are organic compounds required in trace amounts for biosynthesis. They function as enzyme cofactors and are essential for synthesizing DNA, RNA, and supporting microbial growth. Precursors are compounds added to the medium to enhance or direct the synthesis of a desired product. They may become part of the final molecule or stimulate its biosynthetic pathway. A classic example is the addition of phenylacetic acid or phenoxyacetic acid in penicillin production to direct formation of specific penicillin types. Inducers, on the other hand, are compounds that activate synthesis of certain enzymes or metabolites by switching on gene expression. For example, lactose can act as an inducer in some enzyme production systems. In industrial microbiology, the addition of precursors and inducers can significantly increase yield and may even alter product spectrum. However, their timing, concentration, and toxicity must be controlled carefully. If added too early, too late, or in excess, they may inhibit growth, destabilize metabolism, or reduce overall productivity. Therefore, precursor and inducer strategy is an advanced aspect of media design. Foam formation is a common problem in industrial fermentations, especially in highly aerated and agitated systems containing proteins, peptides, surfactants, or cell debris. Foam is not just a visual inconvenience, It can reduce working volume, block exhaust filters, increase contamination risk, cause loss of cells and medium, and interfere with process control. To manage this, antifoaming agents are added either before sterilization or during fermentation. Common antifoams include vegetable oils, polypropylene glycol, silicone-based compounds, and fatty acid derivatives. However, antifoams must be used carefully because excessive antifoam can reduce oxygen transfer, affect mixing, alter membrane function, and complicate downstream purification. In industrial practice, the ideal antifoam is effective at low concentration, non-toxic to the production organism, stable under process conditions, and easy to remove later if necessary. Thus, foam control is a practical but very important component of media engineering. Fermentation media can be classified in several ways. On the basis of composition, media may be defined, semi-defined, or complex. Defined media contain known quantities of pure chemicals, while complex media contain ingredients such as yeast extract, peptone, molasses, or corn steep liquor whose exact composition is not fully known. On the basis of purpose, media may be used for inoculum development, biomass formation, product formation, or maintenance of cultures. On the basis of physical state, media may be liquid or solid, though industrial fermentations mainly use liquid media. On the basis of processing mode, media may be used in batch, fed batch, or continuous fermentation systems. Industrially, complex media are common because they are cheaper and often support better yields, but defined media are preferred where consistency, regulation, and product purity are particularly important, such as in recombinant bioprocesses and pharmaceutical fermentation. An ideal production medium should possess several important characteristics. It should provide all nutrients required by the microorganism in proper concentration and balance. It should support high yield of the desired product, not just rapid growth. It should be composed of inexpensive and readily available raw materials, because media cost is a major part of fermentation economics. It should be easy to prepare, sterilize, and store. Its composition should be reproducible from batch to batch. It should not produce excessive foam, viscosity, or precipitation. It should allow efficient aeration and mixing. It should not contain substances that inhibit growth or complicate downstream processing. In addition, it should be safe, non-corrosive, and compliant with regulatory requirements where applicable. In simple words, an ideal medium is biologically effective, technically manageable, and economically practical. Media optimization means adjusting the composition and concentration of medium components to maximize process performance. Several factors influence optimization. These include the type and concentration of carbon source, nitrogen source, minerals, vitamins, precursors, and inducers. The carbon to nitrogen ratio is especially important because it affects whether metabolism is directed toward biomass or product. Osmotic pressure, pH, buffering capacity, and viscosity also influence growth and product formation. In aerobic fermentations, medium composition affects oxygen transfer by changing broth thickness and foam. Impurities in raw materials may stimulate or inhibit production. Interactions between nutrients are also critical. For example, changing phosphate or nitrogen may alter the effect of carbon source. Therefore, optimization is not a matter of changing one ingredient at a time blindly. It requires understanding microbial physiology and the interactions among medium components. Traditionally, medium optimization was done using the one factor at a time method, where one variable is changed while others are kept constant. Although simple, this method is slow and fails to detect interactions among variables. Modern industrial microbiology increasingly uses statistical approaches such as design of experiments, factorial design, response surface methodology, Plackett-Berman design, Box-Benkin design, and central composite design. These methods allow simultaneous study of multiple variables and help identify both the most significant factors and their optimum levels. Statistical optimization saves time, reduces experimental workload, and provides more reliable results. Today, computer-based modeling, machine learning, and metabolic network analysis are also being used to support media optimization. So, media optimization has evolved from trial and error to a more scientific, data-driven, and predictive discipline. Industrial media formulations vary depending on the organism and the desired product. For example, ethanol fermentation by yeast may use molasses or starch hydrolysate as carbon source with ammonium salts and minerals. Citric acid production by Aspergillus niger often uses sugar-rich substrate with controlled nitrogen and trace metal levels. Antibiotic production by Streptomyces may require complex media containing starch, soybean meal, corn steep liquor, mineral salts, and specific precursors. Enzyme production may require an inducer containing medium, such as starch for amylase or cellulose derivatives for cellulase. Recombinant protein production in bacteria may use more defined media to improve reproducibility and product consistency. In real industry, formulations are selected not only for biological performance but also for local raw material availability, cost, sterility, waste generation, and regulatory acceptance. Thus, industrial formulations are product-specific, organism-specific, and process-specific. Designing industrial production media is challenging because many requirements must be balanced at the same time. First, there is the challenge of cost. A medium that gives excellent yield in the laboratory may be too expensive at industrial scale. Second, raw materials such as molasses, corn steep liquor, or agricultural byproducts can vary in composition from batch to batch, affecting consistency. Third, some components may support growth but reduce product formation. Fourth, certain ingredients can increase viscosity, foam, or contamination risk. Fifth, a medium optimized in shake flask may not perform the same way in a large bioreactor because of scale-dependent differences in oxygen transfer, mixing, and heat removal. Sixth, regulatory concerns may restrict the use of certain animal-derived or poorly defined ingredients in pharmaceutical production. Therefore, media design is a multidisciplinary challenge involving microbiology, biochemistry, engineering, economics, and quality control. The future of production media design is moving toward smarter, more sustainable, and more precise systems. One major trend is the use of low-cost renewable raw materials such as agricultural residues, food industry waste, lignocellulosic hydrolysates, whey, glycerol from biodiesel production, and other circular bioeconomy substrates. Another trend is data-driven optimization using bioinformatics, metabolic modeling, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. These tools can predict nutrient needs and help design better media with fewer experiments. There is also increasing interest in tailored media for recombinant strains, synthetic biology systems, and high cell density fermentation. In pharmaceutical and biotechnological industries, there is strong emphasis on reproducibility, regulatory compliance, animal-free ingredients, and quality by design principles. So, the future medium will not simply be cheap or rich, it will be intelligent, sustainable, customized, and process integrated. To conclude, production media is one of the central pillars of industrial microbiology. It determines microbial growth, metabolic activity, product biosynthesis, process stability, and overall economics. A production medium contains more than nutrients. It contains carefully selected components that influence physiology, productivity, and scale-up performance. Carbon and nitrogen sources form the nutritional foundation, while minerals, growth factors, precursors, inducers, and antifoams fine-tune the system. Industrial media must be economical, reproducible, scalable, and compatible with downstream processing. Optimization is now increasingly guided by statistics and computational tools. As industrial microbiology advances, media design will continue to evolve towards sustainable substrates, precision fermentation, and intelligent optimization. For any fermentation scientist, understanding production media is essential because even the best microorganism cannot perform well in a poorly designed medium. Today we learned that production media is not just a nutrient mixture. It is a strategic tool that controls microbial growth, metabolism, and industrial productivity. In industrial microbiology, the right medium can make the difference between low output and commercial success. In the next lecture, we can explore media optimization, inoculum development, or scale up in more detail.